Most heartfelt greetings and salutations, ladies and gentledames. I eagerly welcome you to Sturgeon's most premier station, Dusklight Radio, hosted by yours truly, the rugged but regal, rounded but reckless, and tortuously tempting Everett J. Blackwell. Now, I know you're used to my usual spiel, but in order to bring you more transmissions, we'll be providing a slightly shorter but still original version for non-Sturgeon or non-feature length stories to ensure we can still provide our unique Dusklight brand, thank all of our patrons, and, most importantly listeners, promote the authors we work with. If you're new here, you can, as always, skip these intros using the timestamp below. But then you'd miss out on little old me, and who would want that? Now, this very special tale is an alleged cursed tragic play from Sturgeon itself, known as the Celestial Event in the Emperor's Kingdom, or it's known by its other name, the Calamity of Angleron. I mean, I've seen it, I've starred in it as the cantankerous yet alluring Emperor himself, and I've even directed it once upon a time for the Sturgeon Community Theater. It didn't end well. A lot of people ended up with involuntary horns and rhinoplasties that night. I'm still paying off the settlement figure. Luckily, Kyle Blackwell's helping me out with some spine-related revenge, shall we say. This is the 6th chapter in an ongoing series by resident janitor TJ Lee, who wanted to make sure you all knew this was a series, though this part can be enjoyed on its own. You'll likely be even more confused than if you heard it all in order. Playlist is on the screen right now, and it's linked in the description below. This production would not be possible without the amazing talents at the Unbound Theater, who you will hear throughout performing their rendition of this classic Sturgeon play. Please check out their website in the description, as well as their SoundCloud links for more audio goodness. We really appreciate them. Oh, and I hope you're enjoying the new theme. We, unfortunately kept getting targeted by a white hawk every time we used the old one. Kinda made production a nightmare, so we switched to a more eldritch sound, and now we're all hunky-dory. I know people don't like change, but I hope you'll give it a chance. Please stick around after the production for full credits and thoughts from TJ himself. We hope you enjoy this offering, and if not, more Sturgeon content will be transmitted soon. And yes, we are adapting Hotel Inertia once we hit 10K, hint, hint. Special thanks must be given first to Mandy Mo for the original beauteous image you see when you look at our page, to Sir Gorky for the brand new rendering of yours truly, and the truly accurately horrifying rendition of our humble studio, to Doc Somnium for being such a gracious yet terrifying sponsor of the channel, and lastly, our music and sound effects are sourced and provided by Epidemic Sound, and Doc Somnium with gracious thanks. If you enjoy these intros and want to see more, please ensure you've got notifications on and leave a comment for every video you encounter. Hey, one last thing before I forget, you can also read along with this play. It is originally in text form, and there's obviously stage directions that might get confusing if you're just using audio interpretation. The link is in the description below. You can check it out, read along. It'll make a lot more sense that way if that's how you want to consume this. Otherwise, have some fun, go on the mystery, maybe read it later on if you're traveling. Stay safe, stay loved, enjoy. With that, the sun has set and dusk has crawled into the studio once more. Whether you're working, prepping to sleep, or evading the formless void that will one day consume us all, Blackwell is here to soothe your ears and captivate your soul. Now, close your eyes and take a deep breath. The scene has been set and the light is on. It's time to walk towards it. The Sturgeon National Library presents The Celestial Event Over the Emperor's Kingdom by the Bard of Dondella. Copyright Sturgeon Nexus Limited. Dondella, Minotia, Coralla, Angleron, and Sturgeon. 1795. 4th edition, translated in 1977. Introduction. The Bard of Dondella's The Celestial Event Over the Emperor's Kingdom was first printed in quarto in 1795. While it was initially described as a tepid reception upon first impressions by theatregoers, something within the play caught on with the disenfranchised art groups and vagrants that populated Sturgeon's neighbouring territories at the time, and before long, it was being seen in droves by those the wider community saw as undesirables within its borders. Very few first editions survived the Great Purge of 1818. Those that have remained have been coveted by collectors ever since. The second edition in 1839, though more commonplace, is largely disconnected from its peers due to rabid retranslations by scholars who did not fully understand its material, thus leading to the third edition which, despite insistences by the church and ruling government at the time to the contrary, was largely kept in its original form and released to the public in 1895 on the centennial of the original release. Due to language barriers and educational gaps between the bourgeoisie and the working class, it was eventually requested to be translated by a member of the Sturgeon National Archives in 1976. This fourth edition would see widespread success and become a cornerstone of Dondella's art community and eventually wider Sturgeon, finding success across its borders and being adapted into multiple plays, television shows, and audio dramas. Eventually, it would receive the modern adaptation for today's audiences, the fifth edition that you're reading now. The Bard of Dondella was a reclusive, pugnacious sort, an eccentric who was so attached to their privacy we ultimately know very little about them. Birth is estimated to have been in 1766, and death shortly after the Great Purge in 1818. They lived their entire life in Dondella, and upon being made bard, did so while fully disguised for fear of outside persecution over their artwork. They were buried in the Dondella Cemetery, in a grand mausoleum that attracts pilgrims to this day. Ultimately, this play of war, tragedy, strife, experimentation, and the human condition in the face of horrific adversity is a thought-provoking piece of literature that parallels, at least to a certain degree, a historic period in the once thriving kingdom of Angleron, before it was absorbed into modern-day Sturgeon. This period, known as the Nameless War, was marked by great battles with rival kingdoms and a final conflict that left Angleron scarred and devoid of any true power in its aftermath. In fact, there still stands a spot where the castle once sat, now nothing more than a crater that spans 3 city blocks. Known as the Wound of Golgotha, it has served as an inspiration to artists ever since. Not much is known about the history of Angleron prior to its absorption into Sturgeon, for few records survive. But the Bard of Dondella claims to have descended from this kingdom, and fervently described the play as autobiographical to a strict degree. Alas, they never elaborated, and now we are left only with the play itself. The celestial event is akin to a half-remembered dream, a conflict one wishes to never go back to, but must take up arms once more. It is the last garrison before self-destruction, and we hope you enjoy it. Synopsis and cast notes. A strange phenomenon has appeared over the skies of a forgotten kingdom during tumultuous times. This play follows how each of them interprets it, and the consequences as a result, based on the historical events that befell the kingdom of Angleron in the 17th century. Translator's note. Stage directions and descriptions have been faithfully adapted from the original. Though unconventional, we feel it is vital to keep them and carry authenticity. It is not for the translator to definitively state if the events within are historically accurate as depicted. Cast: Emperor Marius IV and Empress Desislava, played by Philip Donnelly and Erika Sanderson. Dual rulers of Angleron seeking the ultimate artifacts of power to remove the sickness from their kingdom and the interlopers at their door. Demons of ungodly size and shape, shifting beasts that cannot be trusted. They will do whatever it takes to secure the kingdom. Ula the Obsidian Blade, played by Mimi Brown. The kingdom's greatest champion and the Emperor's personal bodyguard. A half-human, half-angel beast who has no autonomy of their own and yields only to the Emperor's wish. Much lurks behind the armor they wear for others' protection, but it will take a great tragedy to unearth such a thing. Erembor the Tinkerer, played by Jackie Dan. A mad woman seeking only the pursuit of knowledge, she communes with something otherworldly for her designs. It has been claimed she makes unholy weaponry for the kingdom, but few have ever seen what is in their workshop and came out willing to talk at all.
Vedanta the Great Machinator, played by Hannah Pople, a soothsayer and advisor predicting a calamity in the heavens. General Cole, played by Rob Aldridge, dissident member laying in wait, desires an end to the bloodshed and a freedom for the people. The Crown Prince, the next in line to the throne. Little is known of them, but they are spoken of in reverence by the royal family. Prince Fallon, played by Harry Locke, a shutaway desiring only the knowledge and the stars, works closely with Vedanta as an understudy. Princess Lyric, played by Caspia Huntingdon-Davies, a rebellious princess working with General Cole and the interlopers to free the kingdom. Prince Billebault, played by TJ Lee, a braggadocious, foul-mouthed individual with a silver tongue, directionless and the eldest member of the Emperor's children. The Duke of Harper's Wake, a tall, mysterious individual shrouded in a perfect ivory cloak. They do not speak, only using sign language to communicate. The Envoy to the Stars, played by TJ Lee, a short, stout individual emblazoned in bright purple robes and eccentric in their behavior. They speak for the Duke of Harper's Wake. Lady Moreau, played by Mary Hall, a high-ranking noble who is in charge of the financing for the kingdom. A conniving and unscrupulous individual, he is ruthless in ascending to the top. Master McHale, played by Andy Faber, Minister of Trade and representative of the Onyx Mines. McHale is an anti-royal individual who backs General Cole in the hopes there will be a more equal opportunities kingdom in the future. Hieromonk Levelle, played by Alan Curtis, the appointed head of religion and commander of the Holy Sector of Spies. Ambassador Eritral, played by TJ Lee, a Machiavellian-type dignitary from the nation of Kerala, does not mince words and is keen to see the fires of conflict stoked between the three nations. Kerala is a small country that profits off of the arms race, as well as selling information. Ambassador Joriq, played by Hannah Davies, a clever and battle-hardened member of Minotia who is attempting to quell the conflict between her nation and that of Angleron. Opening prologue narrated by Christopher James. Special thanks to Gareth Johnson, Dario Knight, and Unbound Theatre. Please consider supporting the theatre or the actors in the links below. This presented by Dusklight Radio.
Upon the third day of the third month, in the third age of Emperor Marius IV, a great change swept through his kingdom. For 7 long years, a civil war had been taking place, largely seen as an operation masqueraded by neighbouring nations Kerala and Minotia in a concerted effort to destabilize the strongest power on the continent. Demonic forces and unspeakable entities have repeatedly stormed across the fields, killing indiscriminately along the way and only capturing a chosen few for nefarious and unknown means. The losses were immeasurable, and all involved were tired, reaching a torrid stalemate that had begun to take a toll on the mental fortitude of its ruler and his family. During the 7th Annual Peace Summit involving the Emperor, his advisors and various dignitaries, it was observed that sometime after 6 p.m. a schism did appear in a spot overhead in direct course with the sun's directional pattern, eventually producing an ugly, fantastical light in the shape of a downwards triangle no larger than a hay bale, which began pulsating from above the sky. While various scholars and religious authorities across the continent viciously debated its meaning, there were those in the kingdom and beyond who formed their own unique interpretations of this sky-anchored growth, mocking them from the heavens, and from them grew 4 distinct theorems. The first took it as a sign of their success in the ongoing rebellion against the kingdom, charting its growth with that of their desire to blot out the very skies with their ambitions, hiding their disloyalty from the gods themselves. Declaring it a sign of providence, They amassed all their groups in one camp and prepared to move on the capital when the rays were at their strongest. The second felt the glowing rays of the tumour on the skin of the now reddened sky and decreed them to have enhancing properties that, basking in their glow when the sun was at its zenith, would ensure loyal subjects to the Emperor could better serve the kingdom, imbued with divine skills and calling themselves the Pervaded. Not much is known about the third group's immediate reaction, for they amassed under the cover of night in the workshop under the great onyx mines and shrouded their congregation's conclusions in total secrecy. But it is clear that when they emerged, they were filled with a purpose. But it is the fourth group's theory, where our tale begins, for only one opinion truly mattered. Of Emperor Marius IV and his court advisors on the eve of the light's entrance, now known as
Act 1. The Dissimulation. Act 1, Scene 1. The Emperor's Court.
The Peace Summit, hosted by Emperor Marius IV and Empress Desislava, will now begin, and we thank you for convening at such an hour. I am Vedanta, Chief Advisor and Chancellor to His Majesty, and conductor of this meeting. In attendance this evening are as follows: Princess Joriq, Prince Billebault, Prince Fallon, Ula the Obsidian Blade, Lord Moreau, Chief Exchequer, General Cole, Leader of the Holy Army, Ehrenbohr, Chief Weapons Researcher, Master McHale, Representative of Trade and Foreman of the Onyx Mines, Magister Levelle, Head of the Holy Church and our Spy Division. Lastly, our visiting dignitaries. Representing the province of Kerala, Ambassador Erika. Representing the nation of Menosha, Ambassador Joriq. In addition to them, from far-off nations beyond the Silver Seas, the Duke of Harper's Wake and the Envoy to the Stars. The Crown Prince is marked as in absentia due to illness and regrets their inability to attend. Noted also is the intimate meeting of which this is being undertaken. Courtiers, jesters, and others of lower status have been instructed to stay at home. With that, this session can now begin.
Members of the court, at this hallowed peace summit, we are facing dire times. Dark forces are at our door. We cannot allow this conflict to continue. 7 winters have passed, and the court of our nation's populace have fallen to their claws, tusks, and machinations. I shudder to think of the losses our neighbours in Kerala and Menosha have experienced at our hands, and out of these demonic forces from whence we know no origin point. But we have called this peace summit not to ruminate on death, but to look forward to life.
Indeed, it is through the struggles and strife of our kingdom that we were forced to find alternate methods of progressing in the face of our enemies. Praise must be given to Master Ehrenbohr the Tinkerer for his great devices, General Cole for his decisive and effective way of running our army, and to Vedanta for the predictions she has made with frightening accuracy. But still, it is not enough. Other methods were required in order to not only become victorious, but to survive entirely. Such desperation ultimately led us to this.
Pray tell, your majesties, what are we looking at here? A new weapon? A peace offering? I assume this is something we wish to share with all neighbouring nations in a bid for unilateral peace and a united front against our demonic enemies, no?
Or, my dear friend, it is something that can bring utter ruin to the kingdom of Menosha, setting every building ablaze and each of its kin into forced servitude, with nary a single-armed soldier storming the first cobblestone street. Maybe it'll be a gift to my humble nation. Put it in the hands of the deft spies that can utilize it appropriately in exchange for perhaps becoming a vassal state of the Empire.
You would do well to hold your tongue in the presence of enemies. Even if there is a mutual ceasefire, Eritral, I need only take a few steps, and your slithering tongue will be separated from its cave.
And yet, I would not need move at all to inflict greater damage. Perhaps poison is within you that only I have the cure for. Perhaps there is an agent waiting in Minotia to hear from me that, upon failing to do so, will start a coordinated attack on your most vulnerable areas. Oh, I can do so much more with careful planning than you can with a well-trained pair of arms.
Enough. You are both visiting dignitaries and will restrain yourselves in the company of fellow nobles and their majesties. If it will ease your consciences, none of us save for the chief advisor, Vedanta, know of what is under that cloth. It has been a well-guarded secret for as long as they have found it. I too am eager to hear of its true purpose. Perhaps something that will aid the Church and our connection to God. It is only through him that we may find the answer to banish these foul demons from our land.
The Duke wishes to ask the Hieromonk a question prior to the subject's unveiling. They wish to know how you propose to collaborate with a god that has long since abandoned this realm and left you to fight with his other children.
How dare you even question the wisdom of the Lord our God?
My lord is not questioning anything, Hieromonk. Where we are from, we are in active contact with the gods themselves. We speak with them and they speak to us. They provide us with ways to appease them and in turn offer us gifts. We have seen your god, a paltry little thing that got bored of his playthings for greater pastures before being slain by the unspoken one. Your god was a wasteful thing, a petulant child playing with forces it truly did not understand. These demons, as you call them, are merely another form of life trying to dominate. Just as we did before settling into our comfy beds, with others waiting on our every whim. My lord wishes for you to know that your god died in pain, alone and forgotten, like any normal man.
I wish to hear what the rest of the summit has to say in retaliation to such a bold declaration of active alternate gods. We face an enemy that we cannot stop with conventional means. I'm willing to hear nothing but brutal honesty if it means our survival. Speak.
Your Majesty, I do understand the old ways have meaning, tradition and relevance, but I put my faith into my machines more than anything beyond this realm, answering my prayers and fixing my problems. If I see an issue, I create something for it. This is the way of the craftsman. Perhaps there is a god out there that suits my needs, perhaps not. But I fail to see how the one we have at present will solve our problems where my weapons and machines are far more efficient. They do not require prayers, tithes, or empty words. They merely require competency and a desire to use them properly.
I agree with the Tinkerer. We in the Onyx Mines have our beliefs, but they do not interfere with the current climate at hand, and we would gladly put aside our notions of godhood to survive.
Emperor, Empress, I have long held the belief that there is a force in this universe guiding us to a true purpose. A divine entity that wishes only for us to succeed. A part of me still holds on to that notion, that perhaps the answer lies beyond the pale, and we will not know until our end has met us. However, I have seen the horrors this war has produced, and I struggle to reconcile with any truly good power existing that would not have intervened for our kingdom's sake. I will put my faith in the throne, in the two of you.
You cannot be serious. This is blasphemy of the highest order. My lord, my lady, you must not let this go unpunished. There must be recompense. I married the two of you. I watched you ascend to the throne as I did your mother previously and her sister prior to that. I have watched over 4 generations of this dynasty all pledge themselves to our true God. Madness speaks when sanity is drowned out by its great howls and wails. You must hold fast to your faith.
General, what of you and what of our children? You are all either at adulthood or fast approaching it. I wish to hear your counsel. Do not hold back on my account.
I wish only for this conflict to end and peace to reign. Many in my position would salivate for such battles, but I'm tired of my retinue and even more so. None of us care for a god or goddess. We only want to rest. Whatever path grants us that is the path we follow, my lady.
I approach 19 winters this season, and I've done as instructed since birth. Follow my instincts and allow them to carry me to glory. This nation's god does not, nor has it ever, factored into that, and to pretend otherwise would be disingenuous to our responsibilities as a ruling monarchy. I will not continue this lie. I am in service to Angleron, nobody else.
Old, haggard men that debate and squabble like baseless animals over which particular law contradicts one another in their holy books, which ones they will abide by today and which will be abolished tomorrow. Petty conflicts that amount to nothing for these lecherous pigs who will just as quickly frequent a whorehouse as they will burn it down upon discovery of their dirty little secret. I would sooner see every con man pushing his or her brand of lies strung up by their thumbs until they renounce their stupidities than I would support them. The richest in the land are the most pious, the most helpful, the most loving. Nonsense. Utter bloody nonsense.
The truth has always been in the stars. Ancient things that hold secrets far beyond any mere man's understanding. No, I have no love for the church. I have only love for that which Vedanta teaches me, and will continue to do so. It is as simple as that.
You know my position already, Your Majesties.
Very well. Then I wish for you all to see what we have discovered with the assistance of the Duke of Harper's Wake and the Envoy to the Stars. An artifact from an age long since past that within it holds the ability to cure our realm of its sickness, bring our own force to the demonic enemy, and find our true peace. I am told there are several of these strewn throughout the continent and beyond. One that allows for painted worlds hosting all manner of realities and creatures, possibly binding them. Another to strip the flesh from its owner and birth something new if their heart is pure. I admit I am unsure what ours holds, but our magnificent Vedanta and Erembor shall work tirelessly to unlock its secrets so our army can be victorious. I present to you the attire of the Nameless.
Am I among utter insanity? Has there been a plague of heresy and godlessness sweeping our beautiful kingdom? A righteous world cannot be run without fearing God's wrath and desiring his love. Faith is of the utmost importance, and these outsiders must not hold sway over our policies.
Hieromonk, you have served our kingdom for 4 generations, and in that time I have watched our borders grow smaller, our crops wither, our babies die in record numbers, and demons appear at our doorstep. Are you to tell me this is divine? This is righteous? Are your emperor and empress, all of our kin, to lay down and allow this place to become dust?
You ask me to choose between my majesty and my God. This is not something I can do. Even you must answer to God.
And we do, Hieromonk. We just don't answer to yours. Please allow Ula to pass the message on.
We wish to thank our friends from Harvest Wing for helping us understand the true path to victory. You will all have your tasks in the coming days. I trust our neighboring friends will wish to find their own artifacts and bring them here.
We already know of ours and anticipated such a moment may arrive. It has already been procured and sent to your Tinkerer's workshop for further study. We will assist however we can, Your Majesties.
As have we. I sent Minosha's priceless treasure to your chief advisor's chambers ahead of time. We will also stay to provide assistance.
If there is nothing more, Your Majesties, I will take Prince Fallon for their lessons now. We will experiment on the artifact in the interim.
As will I, Your Majesties. I will confer with Master McHale on my findings.
Good. The Onyx Mines have their own methods for these things and will be happy to help.
I will be in the upper floors with our sibling, should you need me.
I will be in the armory preparing.
The Duke wishes an audience with Prince Billebault, sensing some kinship in his words that could better unite our two nations. Would their Majesties mind?
Not at all. It will do the boy some good to get diplomacy past his steel tongue. Love him though we do. You will go, won't you be?
If it pleases you, Mother, I would rip the sky asunder.
Very well. If there is nothing more, we will reconvene in 2 days.
The sky will split open and reveal us to them and them to us. As we gaze into the unknowing, unceasing schism of the cosmos, we see what lurks in its depths. As the unseen one plans, the undesired acts, and the unacknowledged reneges. Ruin will befall the creators and their kin. This land will crumble to dust if there sits a defiler on its throne. See how the very heavens give way to its horror.
My word. What is this? The very flesh of the cosmos. It is seeping through into our kingdom and reaching out to us.
That shape and its colour puts me at unease, as if a great battle were to start at any moment. I must see the troops immediately.
It is beautiful in its own way. I can hear something on the wind, but it is far too soft to grasp. I want you to look into this, Vedanta. Give it your full attention. Erembor and Master McHale can handle the artifacts in your stead.
Your daughter is a remarkable individual. How could she have seen such a thing? Perhaps it is... no matter. The Duke wishes to retire to the chambers and speak with Prince Billebault. We will be available should you need us.
My head. Father, what is it?
There is a wound upon the world, and through it comes evil far greater than anything we have faced since. I fear that even with our newfound gifts, we may not survive this if your predictions ring true, my daughter. I do not believe that slaying the Hieromonk brought us on, rather that it is always going to occur. A calamity befalls nations not because they renounce virtues, but because the calamity does not care for them. It strikes because it is destined to do so. It is in its nature. Perhaps what is beyond that veil, that strange and ugly shape, host beings of such ancient and ferocious gait and power that they are no different to a calamity.
Act 1, Scene 2. Erembor's workshop.
You have seen the calamity unfurling in our sky, I presume?
I have not. I have no need to. It is by my design it dwells there, growing in stature with each pair of sapient eyes befalling it.
Your planning is clearly beyond my reckoning. I do not wish to speak out of turn. The visions you impart to me, they have granted wondrous machinations, tools of destruction man could only glimpse within a shameful dream that he dare not utter to another soul, even with stains on his person. What would you have me do with these artifacts bestowed by their majesties? I sense great secrets within, powers not befitting of man.
You are a master crafter, Erika, daughter of Hieromonk. You will play a pivotal role in the events unfolding. Your tools shall help turn the tide of conflict, usher in an age of malum. All will fall to its knees at the Emperor's feet, for it must be so. The undefinable will take the throne. The flaxen will be strewn across the holy courts. The bonds of blood shall be tested, and all will ultimately bask in the glow of the dissimulation. This is what must come to pass.
I still do not understand why you came to me. Why not to the Emperor or his advisors? I am gifted with my hands, yes, but I am limited in my capacity. What shall I do next?
Be patient, Erika. There will come a knocking at your door with a false voice. You must recognize it and not let it in. To do so would cause a calamity to befall the kingdom. For now, work on your tools. Provide them for the Emperor. Be patient. We will meet again soon.
Do you see, my prince? The sore on the skin of the sky is no coincidence. It is divine providence. This is further proof of such a thing. I saw in the formation of our great and bountiful cosmos that something would come into our borders and infect us slowly from the inside out, rotting the flesh and writhing in the wounds, poisoning the mind to believe it is something it is not. The detritus it leaves behind forming more vile abominations that will eventually take over the kingdom itself. This is the end I spoke of.
The potential of a calamity does intrigue me, Master Vedanta, though I am more so captivated by the entity that Erembor appears to be speaking with. Perhaps a sickness of the mind beguiles her to speak in a second voice. The woman is clever and talented enough with machines to do so. Perhaps even finding a way to record her voice and carry it out of a musical instrument. Or collusion with these people from Harper's Wake. If that is so, she is to be brought before the Emperor, my father, and tried for treason.
My prince, to act rashly is to march into death. Say you were to barge in there with accusations aplenty. How are you to know you would not immediately be struck down by a trap, a machination of Erembor's making that gravely wounded you? There would be outrage, yes, but Erembor is a famously private tinkerer, and you know of this. The blame would be on you, as would the consequences of any damage. Furthermore, we both know what your father would say if you brought to him such accusations with no proof beyond hearsay, do we not?
One's word is merely one version of a larger story. It is not the full tale. Very well, Master Vedanta, I relent. But I wish to learn more of Erembor, her origins, and of this entity which she speaks. Perhaps we could come to her workshop another time at her behest. Could you do that?
I will endeavour to, my prince. But for now, you should ruminate on your training, and when sufficiently rested, come to my chambers. There is something I wish to show you. Something to better understand the stars themselves and the entity with which Erembor may have been communing with.
The mice did come knocking on one summer's eve, their curiosity taking them down a long and winding tunnel. It was too late for them to return to the surface where the light gave them strength. The path was too narrow, The only way was forward on tired and broken paws, their skin stripping itself to the bone, and eyes, though accustomed to the void, losing their shape. Through strife, suffering, and sheer will, they came to the end of the tunnel as the sun hit its peak and burned all things on the surface. There they saw a formless being offering them shelter in exchange for something they were petrified to give up, even in their simple-minded states. But it did not matter, for their fear gave way to a desire for security, and so they embraced the formless beast. But of course... They never could have imagined what it would ask for in return. For an ancient beast knows many ways to entice, entrap, and enslave.
Act 1, Scene 3. Soldier's Courtyard.
Are the Flaxen ready to march? I do not share full confidence with our contemporaries that success is absolute due to the glow above. I fear something else is brewing, a malignant thing awaiting its opportunity to strike.
My lady, are we right to put our faith in the shape at all? Perhaps it is foolhardy to trust in corporeal things. I am but a common man made better by the station which your majesties have given me, but I sense trepidation in you. It would be wise for us to heed it.
My visions have not been wrong yet, General. As the unseen one plans, the undesired acts and the unacknowledged reneges. Ruin will befall the creators and their kin. This land will crumble to dust if there sits a defiler on its throne. I believe we're the unseen ones planning, though I am not certain on who the undesired and unacknowledged are. I can certainly take my guesses. Do you have doubts about its success?
I do not go into any conflict with an assured sense of victory at hand. I've learned through countless skirmishes and massacres that to do so is only to invite misery and to pour more blood on my hands, staining them so deep that my skin may as well be crimson. Alas, I look upon our kingdom having been at war since you were but a child, watching the decisions made by the rulers in their perceived wisdom, and my mind turns to our populace who starve, suffer and scream incessantly. I've heard that over in Kerala they did away with royalty long ago, in favour of a republic that sought to raise the common folk up as well as bringing nobility down until all stood on equal footing. I've no doubt there was resistance within and without, but they have flourished since then. A land of equality driven by common sense. Yet, I still believe in the power of a righteous ruler. Someone like yourself, Princess.
If only my parents saw it the same way. Still, we've exhausted those options over the past winter. This appearance in the sky and their quest for power only concerns me further. Flaxen must act and do so soon. While we topple one foe, another waits on our horizons. How many do we have in waiting?
Over a third of the reserve army, all of my troops, and volunteers by the droves. The holy spies and the king's guards will find themselves overwhelmed. I will keep the bulk back in the hopes that this can be done peacefully, thus preparing ourselves for the demonic enemy at our borders. I will alert our troops and we will proceed on the new moon.
Very good, General. Soon, Angleron will have a new path forged. I can only hope my kin will join us. If only we could bring Ula into our ranks. They may pose a problem if things do not go our way.
Surely we can take on one man, milady.
That is no man, nor woman. Truth be told, I've never known a time without Ula, or what lurks beneath that shell. Father has remarked before that they are single-minded in their loyalty to him, and tellingly did not dismiss whispers that they are descendants of something more than mere human. But you saw the strength they displayed. We would be wise to keep an eye on them.
Yes, my lady. How does the Crown Prince fare?
Frantic.
Act 1, Scene 4. The Archives.
What a mess we find ourselves in. I would not have guessed in all my years that their majesties would act so rashly. To immediately turn on Hieromonk and the Holy Army like that for their own self-preservation and that of their crown prince, it's almost inconceivable. Of course, I am not foolish enough to stand in the way of them publicly, but privately...
Privately, you would have my own network of agents do your dirty work in order to order a ceasefire and give us reparations if you're installed as the new ruler. With your financial colour, I imagine that would be no difficult task, though I must say there is risk behind your venture. Should you be caught, Kerala will offer you no aid. We do not care for rats exposed to the light. We snuff them out like vipers.
I understand better than you how risky my proposal is. However, the company my majesties keep is... it is repugnant. Ula, the half-angel, half-man thing. Erembor, the corrupted craftsman who lays with her fellow woman. Billebault, the braggadocious. Fallon, the intellect taken in by the unseemly and unholy forces of Vedanta, their chief of staff. Joriq, the mighty's abominable gift to see visions and her close relationship to a commoner in General Cole. And then there's the Crown Prince. That freak of nature must never sit on the throne. Their Majesties plan to use these gifts from the Dark Realm for their own disturbed and fetid bloodline will bring ruin to us all. It must be stopped. Hieromonk's death was a final insult, a black mark on an already stained canvas of sacrilegious practice. What say you, Joriq?
What say I? It is not a matter of what I say, but that of their excellency. They accept your offer for a ceasefire and expansion of territory, but wish to have your aid in fighting back the demonic enemy on our borders. But if you're asking what I say you are a coward, a traitorous wretch who seeks to step over any single body still writhing or stiff from cold if it brings you even a hair closer to your lofty ambitions that far exceed your station. You are a peacock prancing in front of a star shower and daring it to outshine you. It will, Moreau. The stars cannot be denied, and we all must answer to someone. If there is nothing more, I will take my leave. Your very presence makes my skin feel fit to break out in hives.
Charming woman. I will have to remind her of her own place within the hierarchy, it seems. A soldier that has come home from battle one too many times.
If your lordship would deem it so, I could have her meet with an unfortunate accident before taking her leave from Enosia. Subtle, without pain and without suspicion.
In this ever-changing world, women are too often apt to forget their betters. This will at least send a message to other rebellious types like Princess Joriq, a woman who should be focused on birthing rather than fighting.
Now, my lady. Let us not judge too harshly or place one's hand over an open fire whilst telling others it's ice. For I know what sort of person you visit in the dead of night when you think nobody is aware. You have dark predilections, do you not?
I deign you to watch what you say and hold that venomous tongue, Ambassador, or I will use all of my not inconsiderate influence to bring the full force of Angleron onto you.
I know where the demons come from, Lady Moreau. I know that the famine has not spread further due to your intervention, and furthermore, I know why. You are a noble, and much like anyone of your exorbitant wealth and stature, you get bored. So, when you and your other rich kin congregate like golden-clad simians under a certain moon at a certain time, you provide some entertainment. Young, supple, vulnerable. Your men pluck them from the streets, feed them treats laced with alchemic compounds to make them dance to your tune. Sometime later, You got bored again, and a certain contemporary you had been wooing finally let you into their inner circle, did they not? What was that name? Di misteri dom cerno.
Stop! I beg of you, do not speak his name. It is clear you know more than I could have ever imagined.
It is our nature to know these things, my lady. We are small, but we are deadly. Kerala's sigil is that of the stonefish, unseen, unassuming, and deadly when it strikes. You became a part of this order, and in doing so, you followed their doctrine to bring about the demonic presence across our continent and the calamity in the sky. You orchestrated this with your peers, using the souls of those very same people you seek to rule to fuel your ambition. I must say, I'm impressed. Not at all fond, but impressed.
I did not know so many would pour through Eritral. Truly, I did not. I wanted a small contingent that could join me in overthrowing the monarchy, yes, but not the endless number of horrors. As for the calamity in the sky, I do not know of how it came to be there. Perhaps it was us, perhaps it was always meant to be. But I have taken this path, and I am steadfast in my beliefs as I was before. I will sacrifice as many souls as necessary, for I believe something far worse will happen if the Crown Prince takes the throne.
You speak of this Crown Prince as if they're a demon themselves. Surely they're just an eccentric. Even our spies have been unable to glean so much as a scrap of their personage. Pray tell, what do you know?
We have spoken enough. Remove Joriq discreetly, and perhaps I will tell you after. There is much to be done, and I fear we do not have much time with which to do it. Many forces converge on this kingdom, some more powerful than any of us. We must be ready.
Very well, my lady. But indulge me once more. Who could be a greater threat than that of the demons, the calamity, or the supposed freakish Crown Prince?
The Duke of Harper's Wake. That creature could be the doom of us all if left unchecked. You will get no information on them, their homeland, or their envoy, but know this. They serve something far more horrifying than anything we deal with here. If it were within my power, I would have them eradicated from the land down to their very cells. But we are puppets to them. We just have to hold fast that we perform perfectly and that they don't change their tune.
Act 1, Scene 5. The Duke's Chambers.
Fascinating antiques you have, many of them far beyond my understanding. Odd structure, seemingly pointless in their design. Are they recreational tools?
No, Your Majesty. They are tools from our land we had hoped to use in order to better assist your kingdom in the coming days. Some are of benefit to the Majesties, some less so. We would be happy to show you them, but first, the Duke wishes to know something of you.
Very well. Ask. I am not one to mince words or hide my intent like so many simpering fools in this kingdom of wasted potential and endless hunger.
Do you know what true power is, Your Majesty?
Aside that from which my parents wield, that which General Cole holds, or even that of Ula and their mighty sword. Or perhaps you refer to the mighty intellect Vedanta lords about the place, or the deft hands skilled enough to produce a weapon of such destructive capabilities our enemies would soil themselves in its mere visage by Erembor the Tinkerer. Oh, no, you must mean the power of subterfuge our surreptitious enemies brazenly display like their very members betwixt their legs as they sit at our table and discuss surrender terms. You certainly don't mean the religious power of fear that old zealot had at his fingertips, and I would assume you aren't direct enough to refer to the artifacts, so I have no earthly fucking idea what power could be. Enlighten me, learned folk from beyond the sea.
True power comes in two forms. The first is within information held over others and away from others. The secrets we keep locked up from ourselves, from our loved ones, and from our enemies. There is in this kingdom a secret that your family is determined beyond a shadow of a doubt to keep from the outside world. We know this. But we also know that there is something else, a lie within a lie that has been kept from you, eldest prince of Angleron. Of course, that is only the first form of power, the human form, if you will. The Duke posits that there is a second form of power, one that you are seeing manifest itself above your skies, a power so great and frightening it does not bear a name in your tongue or a form you can comprehend. It is destiny manifest. You, in all your swagger and fervor, are powerless to the ties that bind us, Prince.
Okay.
Look upon my blood and know what true power represents. It is the essence of divine right. When this refined fluid flows freely, dissidents quiver in fear, for they are in the middle of a fight for their lives with their ruler, and the very forces of the kingdom's righteous fists manifested into the bodies of a 10,000-strong force. You think you know of me? You think because I possess a tongue sharper than any steel in this kingdom, with more venom than a basilisk, that I am somehow a boor, a dullard walking blindly towards his inevitable obscurity? No, scholars from beyond the sea, I am not a passive observer to this incoming storm, but the one standing on the edge of the precipice, daring the storm to strike me, so I can catch it in a bottle and hone it for my own means.
And should you capture this storm? Hone the terrifying power within? What will you do with it then, my prince? The Duke's interest is piqued by your bravado.
You may have knowledge beyond me, but I am not immune to the whispers that persist within the walls of my home. I know of what you speak, and I have a plan of my own. But trust must go both ways. I know nothing of your home, of your motivations, or even what the esteemed Duke looks like beneath those unusual garbs. Perhaps I have a means to remedy the sickness here. Perhaps not. What do you offer in exchange? What does a person such as you from a land far beyond our own gain from such an alliance?
This is Harper's Wake, a painted world shrouded in the spaces between realms, a world beyond the spectrum of your understanding and free of the shackles of morality this kingdom is bound to. We have watched patiently, electing to wait until someone who could see our world for what it truly is arrived. That person is you, Prince Billebault de Frederick, the rightful heir to the throne. Should you decide to take back what is yours, we will assist. Perhaps the Duke will even show you what lays beneath their garbs.
This is magnificent. I see individuals wearing such unique outfits, their faces contorted into pure ecstasy. Colors, I cannot place their name, but they're wondrous. I have no earthly understanding of the things I see around, what I can only assume are proto-people, but they look like angels. I wish to see my kingdom like this, free from the demonic invasion, sedition, betrayal, and madness. Everyone in the same throes of bliss and free from the concerns of this realm. I will be their eternal emperor. I accept your proposal, but what do you and the Duke want in return?
change. Harper's Wake merely wants change, exacted by your deft hand.
End of Act 1. Act 2. The Gestation. Act 2, Scene 1. Erenbor's Workshop.
Spawn of the unknown. It pains me beyond words to harm another living thing. But gifts must be tested. You understand this, yes? Truly, I am sorry. But your kind invaded our kingdom, razed our lands, and took our people for your unholy deeds. It is only natural we fight back, yes? Warfare is built upon the ideals of innovation. Primitives start with their bare fists, teeth, nails, and feet. But eventually, a rival began using a rock and some sticks, so there was a desire to innovate. Accelerate some time, and now we not only have a Hydra from Kerala bearing down on us with its serpent tongue and many heads, but a grand giant from Menosha threatening to step on us with one large, singular blow. We may be mighty, yes, but we are not invulnerable. No man, nation, order, or idea is. So I ask you, Demon Spawn, what is the most terrifying thing one sentient creature can experience? What thing can drive any rational person to untold violence, to the creation of instruments whose sole purpose is to inflict misery? The different, the unwalked path. You are not the only new and unusual things marching at our door, demon. We have enemies within and without. Thankfully, I have developed a way to best use you both. What is your name and purpose?
My name is Yondor Minakut. I am the third-rank soldier in the Flaxen Army under General Cole and Princess Lyric. I was born to serve and safeguard the rights of any of Angleron's subjects. I am part of the change sweeping this kingdom in the coming days.
Good. Very good. And what will you do now?
Whatever it is Nulldus desires, Lady Erenbor.
Act 2, Scene 2. Vedanta's Chambers.
And so it is written that when the great powers converge and an unseen influence outstretches its greedy hands, the chrysalis will finish its gestation, and the calamity will befall this land. It is as I thought. This is predestined to occur, down to the very last minutiae of action. There is no escaping fate, no grand revelation at the 11th minute of the 11th hour that turns back the great dials on the clock that Father Time himself hoards like a dragon. No. All things must eventually end. All must turn to dust. I was Vedanta before I knew of this, and I will be so after. My priority is to instruct the prince on his next steps.
You wish to see me, Vedanta?
Yes, my lord. Come in. I take it you rested. You seem more balanced than before. That is most fortunate, for what I have to relay to you will be extremely taxing. I must insist you follow my directive and trust in me. You are my sovereign lord, my prince, and my student. But that last one must take priority when sharing this information. Do you understand and consent?
You have not failed me this far, Vedanta. I have grown sufficiently under your teachings, and as you know, I care not for my royal heritage, nor the concept of class that is most hideously coupled with, like a parasite latched to a sickly host. I am your student, and I see this as a path to lead me forward. Educate me.
Sit. Breathe in the smoke and cast all thoughts from your mind. You must ignore all impulses that this body of meat, lightning, and water implores you to abide by. Your mind, a window to your thoughts both deep within you and bubbling to the surface. Render them blank. Turn the mind to a blank ocean with no bubbles, froth, or life within. Even your breathing, you must ignore. Your body will do that for you as your inner self separates from it, if but for a moment. You're becoming empty, my lord. You're becoming one with null. What do you see?
I see a path, a doorway.
Go through it. Let me be your spectre and haunt your every step. Dictate unto me what you see.
I am in a chamber, grand in design with multiple pathways, leading on towards multiple gateways I can step through. Stairs that lead to nowhere, to everywhere, to all that lays in between. Impossible structures and angles, with gilded doors and ramshackle archways of filth. They rotate around me until I am at the apex. Each viable path laid out in front of me like a fork in the road of time. I don't see the hands, but I feel them gesturing to each one. First, an archway of stone leading to the tombs of my kin. The next, a locked gate leading to a sanitarium. A wailing voice shrieking to me from beyond the purview. The third, a pulsating mass. The hide of a great beast bursting from its confines as it barely holds back something unholy. The fourth archway, made of wood and bone, somehow contains an endless expanse beyond our borders, a great moor rising in the distance. The fifth, a gilded door, with a big top carnival beyond, a group of oddly dressed individuals beckoning me in. The sixth,
Say it, my student. Speak it into existence and make it so in your mind.
It's a triangular door, through which I can see a view of our very kingdom from far above. I am gazing from the abyss as the abyss gazes at us. But there is something more. Something calling from the highest set of stairs in this space, and forming from seemingly nothing to greet me. There is something within our kingdom, though I wish to see it.
Do not stray too far, Fallon. But if you feel safe...
I see something in the Duke of Harper's Wake's chambers. He's...
My prince, there are some things you are not ready to see, and some you are not meant to see. Keep your focus. Follow the voice.
Almost ready. The chrysalis is almost complete.
You have my word, my sovereign.
That was unexpected. As if a most freezing slumber overtook my body. My lungs feel tight, and my very breath cooled to the touch. My mind addled and sluggish. What happened, Vedanta?
You opened yourself up to Null, and something spoke through you. Something powerful. Something that has guided me as it now guides you, my prince.
It mentioned something was coming. That I must be prepared for. Pray tell, Vedanta, before I succumb to sleep and anxious dreams, what may that be?
Nothing short of blissful silence, ambling its way to the finale of this kingdom.
Act 2, Scene 3. Their Majesty's Chambers.
My love, have you been staring at the sky this whole time? I've been gone since supper, yet here you still stand. You must eat something. Fragility does not become you.
It has grown since last you were here. I am watching our potential demise loom overhead, moment by moment, gnashing its teeth and licking its lips before devouring us whole. Will the annals of history remember us as we are in this moment, my love? Will they remember your smile? Billebault's sharp wit, Fallon's incredible insight, Lyric's kindness, our Crown Prince's mere existence. What will become of them if this calamity comes to pass?
It matters not what history says, only what we create for those long after we are dust to learn from in relative peace due to our actions. Be they perceived brutal and stained red with blood by some, pure and without folly by others, or largely perceived as no different to our ancestors surviving against the elements. They were afraid. They were armed with nothing but their own instincts, their kin and the will to persist beyond the veil. They killed. They made choices that many of our most learned scholars would consider barbaric. They did what they had to do. They lived, and eventually brought us here, to this moment, to this era of humanity's greatest test, and we will surpass it.
I'm afraid, Desi. Death is a reality I've learned to meet and greet with the same decorum I would give our most revered guests. That much I am at peace with. It is the world we leave behind, and that of our children that frightens me, a world with demons encroaching on their bedsides, monsters wearing human skin who would deign to eliminate our Crown Prince. They will never understand. Instead, they will fear, which will turn into hate.
Perhaps understanding is not the aim, my love, but respect. And if respect cannot be earned, then fear will take its place with tenterhooks that will burrow so deep into man's heart that they will never be removed. We will carve this world out for our children, our Crown Prince. If the calamity takes us, it takes us all. But I believe in a different outcome. I believe by the end of this, our worries will be at an end.
Fallon will thrive under Vedanta's guidance and proves already wise beyond their years. Lyric is a master strategist and tactician with unyielding conviction. Billebault may be crass, but his wit and sharpness is beyond reproach. Our children are all destined for greatness. We have done well. But the Crown Prince?
They will rule, absolutely and without opposition. It was always their destiny as written in the stars. Even that schism in the sky will not stop them. It is limited to our world, our skies. It cannot compare to the brilliance from which the Crown Prince draws upon, and our artifacts will only tighten the grip they will have around history's pretty neck. Come now, no more worrying. We have something far more pressing.
Indeed. It is time to see what these artifacts can do. My hope remains that they will keep the demon threat at bay, giving us some room to breathe.
Oh, my love. They will do much, much more than that.
Act 2, Scene 4. Flaxen War Council Room.
It is decided then. With the arrival of this calamity, we will escalate our plans. Come dusk, we will gather our forces and storm the front gates. It is my hope and belief that with our numbers outweighing the royal army, my parents will do the smart thing and surrender. They are not evil, nor are they foolish. They are simply misguided and worn down by this conflict, too focused on the outside to deal with the issues within. The transition should, if all goes to plan, be a smooth and simple one. I will act as lead advisor with General Cole remaining head of our army, but we will allow the people to elect someone new within a solar year, should that be their wish. Our focus must be them, our unseen kin who starve or worse in our streets. Are we in agreement?
Aye, my lady. I do not enjoy this subterfuge against our majesties, and my heart is still with them. But we of the Onyx Mines cannot continue this way without severe consequences. You have our support and our resources.
The Onyx Mines have always helped to steer this nation in the right direction, Master McHale. I trust they will continue to do so alongside me. The test of the artifacts is due to commence soon. Are you certain you wish to be the one?
Aye, my lady. I share yours and General Cole's fear that the wrong person wearing those cursed things could cause untold damage. Better it be someone like me who, above all else, wishes to see Angleron prosper in peace. If that means the end of me, the Onyx Mines shall remember me fondly, and I will have a place in the Giant's Maw under the mountain. I will dine with the Great Ones and never tire. I only hope I can live long enough to see Angleron's new dawn rise.
If you do not, know that our history books will never forget your name. It will be remembered by our scholars, our children and their parents who are alive, loved and free. I will ensure it. General Cole, what say you?
It goes without saying of my loyalty, Your Highness. I have already readied our troops and the reserve army is prepared to march when the sun begins to set. Angleron will unite as one to remake itself anew, ready for a new age and the threat at our doorsteps. I only hope that certain caustic elements do not find a way to become combustible.
I appreciate your concern, General, but we cannot prepare for the unprepared. Only for that which we can anticipate. You taught me that. But if there is one thing I could do to put your mind at ease, perhaps I can oblige. You wish to speak to Ula, yes? Get them to join our cause?
The alternative being to simply have them eliminated. Yes, I would feel comforted knowing such a behemoth was on our side or not involved at all. You have a plan for approaching them?
Master McHale, would you be so kind as to outfit me with your finest blade? I wish to duel our beloved and esteemed Ula.
You cannot be serious, my lady. The mere thought of you...
Of me battling such a beast as the obsidian blade is terrifying, and you are concerned I'll be cut into ribbons. I'm well aware of the skill differential. I do not plan to best our finest swordsmen. I have an alternate method in mind, if you'll humour your princess's wild indulgence.
Your Highness,
Ula the Obsidian Blade, your skills are beyond reproach, as is your loyalty. Whilst this request may seem petulant, foolish, and suicidal, I ask that you uphold the loyalty and indulge me. Will you do this?
For the royal family, I will do anything that is asked of me.
Good. I wish you to duel me and, should I get a hit on you, ask that you become my personal guard and swear fealty to me. If you win, I will see to it you have the freedom to leave our servitude, if that is your desire.
I would never leave the comfort of the royal family. You will get 3 attempts before I retaliate. Should you fail, I will instead request that you answer one question of mine, as truthfully as you are able.
You have never asked us of anything. How fortunate I was able to rouse your curiosity right as I needed it. Perhaps this is fate.
Slow. 2 more attempts.
You are an anomaly, even to us, Ula. I've no doubt my father knows of your origins and what lays beneath that armour. Perhaps mother too. But even I do not know, and yet you've been here since I was but a child. I admired you. Your strength, your technique, and the way you carry yourself in any room. You say so little yet convey so much. I wanted to be just like you as I became a woman.
Good, but predictable. One more attempt. You flatter me, Your Highness. Skilled though I am, I have my flaws.
Oh, I know. I'm not as witty as my elder sibling, pensive as my middle brother, or as talented as the Crown Prince. But I am one thing above all else. Observant. And do you know what I have observed of you these past 12 winters, Ula? You are far too lenient when it comes to the royal family, because loyalty trumps all else.
I will keep my promise. I am now and will always be sworn to you directly, Lyric Ophelia de Frederick. I will inform your father of this change.
Excellent. We have some things to discuss before you depart. More importantly, I have a mission for you.
As you wish, my lady.
Act 2, Scene 5. The Crown Prince's Chambers.
Father, how fares my sibling? And how fare you?
If I recounted the story of when each of you were born, my daughter, come see, I will recount it to you. When the eldest of the family, Billebault, was born at daybreak, it is said that every church bell in the kingdom ceased to function for the duration of the sun's rotation across the sky. Such was his power of will and defiance, the very fabric of our institution stopped in awe of him. His name was taken from that of my forefathers, something of an ironic title now, looking at his disposition, I suppose. It means to laugh at oneself and find joy. I sometimes worry about him. It is never easy for the firstborn to be passed over for the throne, but his sharp tongue and sharper wit do not make for good judgment. When Fallon came into the world, we opted for tradition. He was and is the spitting image of me, bearing my curious nature with your mother's directness. Fallon meaning descended from the ruler. What he lacks in constitution, he makes up for in intellect. Second in line, he never protested being passed over like his brother. When you were born, nary a dry eye was in the palace. It had been a difficult birth, and upon your arrival, you didn't cry so much as sing. So we named you Lyric, song-like child of Angleron. Everything I could want in a successor, more beautiful than the stars during winter solstice, measured in their decision-making, skilled with all manner of weaponry, a natural diplomat, and remarkable foresight. If you did not have such mental ailments, we know how I feel. Which leaves us with the youngest, the Crown Prince. The night they were birthed, the weather turned foul. Great winds from the east billowed and shook the foundations of the palace. Lightning struck outside, threatening to pierce our very windows, and I sensed spirits manifesting in the room with us as their first cries rang out, dispelling all in an instant. The world was silent. Eerily so when Sovereign took their first breaths. That is the only birth that has ever scared me, Lyric. But it's the one where I knew something otherworldly had been brought into our kingdom. Something with great power that over time could dispel any enemy. I only wish they saw what we saw.
Pray tell, you speak so cryptically of my kin. You speak as if they are otherworldly.
Would it be so far-fetched if that were to be true? My daughter, there is but one thing I've never told you about Sovereign's origin. Perhaps when you enter their chambers you will understand. It has been many moons since you saw them last, has it not?
Yes. Vedanta told me that Sovereign needed rest, that the rejuvenation process was complex and could not be disturbed. I wished to be by their side, but I understand. I was hoping to confer with her on how much longer we must wait.
Judging by the calamity outside, I'd wager not long. Stay by Sovereign's side, Lyric. Guide him as you would do when they sit upon the throne. Your mind is too sharp to go to waste. Know that I and your mother are immensely proud of you in all that you do. For our bloodline, no action was without merit. It is time I took my leave. The artifacts must be tested, and I relished in a chance of respite here in my child's chambers. A reminder what I am fighting for, of the narrative I am trying to protect, the lineage I am trying to protect.
Father, you have yet to tell me of the one thing you never concluded. About Sovereign's conception.
There was no conception. On a night not dissimilar to this, I awoke to find your mother cradling a newborn babe. When I asked her its gender, its place of origin, or anything of the sort, I was met with silence. A blissful, unending silence on her part that enraptured her. She simply told me it was divine will, and this was the beginning of a new age, that our new sovereign had arrived, our crown prince. She loved them, loves them like it is her own child. Once, in a stupor, she told me of who she suspected sovereign came from. But I must say no more on the subject, not now. Know this, my daughter. Whatever you hear inside those doors, know it is what sovereign must go through in order to rise anew. A cocoon within which they will gestate, pupate, and emerge a better version, a truer version of themselves. While they fight their battle, we have our own to attend to. Do not delay too long.
End of Act 2.
Act 3. The Test. Act 3, Scene 1. Testing Chambers.
Master McHale, are you quite sure that this is what you want? The Onyx Mines are in need of a competent leader, and your loyalty has never once been in question.
Yes, your eye for detail and repartee with which you command your kin is to be admired. There is no need to...
There is every need, my lieges. I do this not to prove my loyalty to the Empire, not to save face for an act of defiance, not to curry favour and advance my station. No, I do it for this, and this alone. Papa, I know you have long tried to understand the plight I suffer with. Since I was young, I have known myself to be different, to see the world in a shade that no other can around me can identify, to hear things that would rattle the constitution of lesser folks, and to know things that would test the very foundations of one's faith and moral compass. I have known since I was old enough to carry the McHale name in my heart with pride that I was one of them, a distinctive entity beyond the norm, and therefore something that would lead a life of subterfuge, scorn, and strife. I know you and Mother would do your absolute best to shield me from the hatred of the world, for though I do not doubt our own king would largely accept and love me, it is the outside world which would find means and methods to eradicate me. For humanity fears what it does not understand, and hates what it cannot control. It was not that long ago that our borders were expanded, and we came to know of others beyond our purview. We did not meet them with the godly kindness the church preaches or the welcoming arms of our elders talk of. We assimilated. We dissected. We commodified until there was little remaining of who they once were. What made their persons special was stripped to the bone. At our last gathering, I was encouraged to be myself and announce the new name I had taken in celebration of my true self. But upon doing so, rage was what I saw across the faces of some of our kin. Even now I can envisage the immediacy of their virulent disgust. It is not something I can ever erase from my memory, nor the words spoken to me, despite your best intentions and that of Mother's. I fear this is the life I am consigned to. A human born desperate to be in the skin of a demon. The very thing our lives are dedicated to eradicating. Your brother was right. I am an abomination who cannot change what I am. I know you will try to stop me. So this letter will reach you when it is already far too late. Papa, you did your best, and this is not your fault. I only wish there had been a way to find joy outwardly and peace inwardly. But in death, I could hope for nothing more. I pray for a world where one day the concept of demons is eradicated from the human consciousness, where one's soul is determined by its owner and nothing more. But alack, it is a dream that will not reach the deepest of sleeps that I will embark upon. I do this for my child, who would never see the dream you hold within my grasp. Please, for you, for our kingdom, I would give anything. Do you hear it, my lords? The sounds of a white dove against the blue sky, and a beautiful pink sun. That is my child. Yes.
You were brave, Master McHale. Truly, truly brave. We will honour you.
And still the calamity grows in size. But we will face it head on. For your children, our children, for all of Angleron.
Act 3, Scene 2. Billebault's chambers.
I dare not think of this as anything more than a flight of fancy. But my rational mind is steadily giving way to the possibility of this world. As if it is in a pool of clear water, slowly being engulfed and dragged under the surface by a soft, almost comforting pair of hands. How is it I can look like that? How can I possibly behave like that? It is beyond reproach. It is unthinkable. The very idea of such dalliances makes my stomach quiver. And yet, I cannot deny what my own senses are unabashedly receiving. This is true.
I see His Majesty has found our doorway to his liking. How long has His Excellency stood in front of it on this day?
It has only been minutes, I assure you. I am no narcissist who fawns over his reflection and swoons at his features, be they chiseled and exuding strength or soft and displaying wisdom. Need I remind you that you are a guest in this kingdom?
Wrong. You have been standing for half a day, if not more. Your legs are shaking, and I would venture a guess you have not eaten today. You are changing, my liege. Slowly but surely, you are changing.
A half day? Nonsense. I only sent the maid away mere moments ago. The food was not to my liking, and I wish no company. Not out of the ordinary for a man of my disposition, surely.
Perhaps not. But we believed something else has happened. You have become enthralled with the mirrored world, my prince. Harper's Wake is calling to you. Perhaps it is time you became our guest.
Such a thing? In a time of war and strife such as this? What of your assistance to my parents? To our kingdom? Was that now why you came?
We came to observe, and we found you. A much grander prize than any other. This world will cease to be of interest to you should you spend one afternoon in Harper's Wake. I assure you.
Oh, but how would we even get there and back before things unraveled here? I cannot abandon my post. I am no coward, and I would sooner bite off my own tongue than utter the words of retreat or recuse.
We have no need to take a prolonged journey. You need only do one thing if you are willing. Allow the Duke to place their hand on your face and touch the mirror.
Touch the... Are you quite well? Or did you perhaps
If you do as we say, you will awaken to whom you truly were meant to be.
Act 3, Scene 3, King's Court Hall.
And as I explained to my assistant, you cannot rule a nation whilst feeding the pigs, gourmet.
Lady Moreau, my time in this kingdom is running short. I must have an audience with the Crown Prince. You said you could facilitate this.
I said it could be done if you removed Joriq. Has it been done?
I have spies in place to administer any means of death I or you wish to see put into action, my lady. But I wish to see the Crown Prince before any such action could take place. My position is tenuous, and like any coiled snake, I would only have one shot before someone discovers me. My exit must be swift for the safety of our nation.
You are a spy. Your entire nation is built on subterfuge. Do not tell me you have issues killing one woman. You jest, surely.
You do not know Joriq the way I do. She is a calamity, a force of nature unrestricted by the limitations of a common man. Should I fail, she will raise entire villages just to make me flinch. A human like that, you do not wish to cross, even if I have the means to. I may poke and prod at her, but I am no fool. A viper does not bite a tiger unless it is backed into a corner. I need the meeting, milady.
Oh, very well. Come with me. We should have enough time if we're discreet. It's me. We have a visitor. He wishes to see the Crown Prince.
Oh well, by all means, send him on down.
What?
What would you have me do with him, my lady?
Whatever they desire, Erika.
Act 3, Scene 4, Erika's workshop.
Are you back in the land of the living yet, Ambassador? I hope so. I'd be so forlorn if you missed out on the festivities. After all, we're about to make you a whole new man.
What trickery is this? Why would you stop me seeing the Crown Prince? My agreement with Moreau has no bearing on Angleron.
Oh, but it does. Especially if you involve the Crown Prince. It could be murder, or that pesky poison your people are so good at. Or maybe outright influence. It matters not. The main issue is that your interference is not needed. Your body, however, well, that could do with some tinkering. You were one of them all along. My, this world truly has surprises.
flesh from your bones and rip out your voice before you ever utter a word of my origin or Minosha's great secret. We will not be exposed.
And so the mouse travels further down the tunnel, not realizing it can no longer back out. Only forward, always forward, until the light of the sun itself threatens to erase it.
Erembor, you don't need to do this. You don't need to do any of this. I have seen the stars. I know what is coming.
You know a version of what is coming, Vedanta, not what is. I have seen in my own divinations. I know my path.
Erembor, you are a wise machinator, and I would not call your skills into question. But I will challenge your perceptions. We have both seen the end. You would do well to heed Vedanta.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I have someone else I must answer to, and they have a plan.
None of it matters, Erembor. We are all just momentary glimpses, names affixed to creatures of no face, body, or space. We are devised in the minds of those who hear our words, and each one hears us, sees us, and knows us differently. We are all a matter of perception, don't you see? None of this will matter when the end comes. We will cease and we will return to just being alive for a flicker, a snapshot in the annals of time. Kronos himself barely moving from his throne to acknowledge us. I implore you to think of the bigger picture, of your bigger picture.
They told me you would use your flowery words and intellect, but I am resolute. I have no need to harm the demonic ambassador, no. Instead, I will simply escalate my designs. Yes, perhaps it's time. The emergency's nigh. The mice are trapped. The beautiful, unforgiving light of the sun is ready, and the burning will commence. Awaken, awaken, my children. Your time is now.
Understand why you helped me. I am the enemy. I am a demon. The very spawn you've sworn your lives to eradicate. I am vulnerable, cornered. You can inflict any justice upon me you wish.
You could have harmed us at any moment, yet you chose not to. You defied expectations and lived on your own terms. For what reason I am unclear. But I will find out, and should I change my mind then, I will turn you in to the Empress and Emperor. But for now, you have my trust. We must disable these traps and stop Erembor. Are you with us?
I will join you in the courtyard. I must first attend to a fellow snake, one that must swiftly be devoured.
Act 3, Scene 5. Hallway.
Who is it? Who goes there? I am the Lady Financier of Angleron, Augustine Moreau. You will respect my name and the rank it carries. Show yourself!
20 long years have I waited. I thought I would need to wait another winter, perhaps more, before I could be in a position to safely dispose of you, Lady Moreau. Did you not wonder how I knew of your little rituals? Did you never wonder where that information came from?
Stay back, you foul creature. I will send you to your maker and away from the halls of the just and good.
Just and good? You... a farce if I ever saw one. You're not a snake, Moreau. I was wrong. No,
You are the parasite that lurks within the sneaky creatures. You're the spores in the mushrooms. You take charge of those with skill, and you command them to do your bidding at the risk of their mortality. I know where the demons come from because I was once a little boy, shipped along with his dirty immigrant family from Menosha to be a part of your ritual. It tore apart my mother, my father, and my sister. But not me. It changed me into this. And now, I will show you what awaits you on the other side, you parasite!
A little insurance policy I picked up from Erembor. Old magic dispels any of your filthy kind from coming near me. Always thought it would come in handy should the demons break the front lines and invade our castle gates. Seems that it worked perfectly. Do you want to know something before your wretched little life is snuffed out, Demon Eritrol? I still remember each and every one of you we used so fondly. Enough joy erupts within me when I think of your family's last moments that it is akin to a climax. But this is the greatest joy, to eliminate one of you with my bare hands. Maybe the Emperor will promote me. What a joy that will be!
Choke on your vile words, you fucking animal! Let your very head be separated from its body and do no further harm! A death too quick, Eritral. Yes, we can kill two birds with one very efficient stone. For a demon can be revitalized by feeding.
Act 3, Scene 6. Courtyard.
Come now, soldiers. We have but days until the march. You must keep your focus. There can be no dalliances on the battlefield. Chambers, show me your riposte technique with Minocote.
Yes, sir. At once, sir.
The time of the Null God is nigh. We will serve and be of service. Our kin on the border will know of our deeds here. We will embolden their march upon this profaned capital.
General, call!
My siblings, our instructions are clear. Weaken their defenses and ensure our kin on the outside know to strike for the Null God.
It's Ula! Ula, the Obsidian Blade has come to save us!
This is the one we were warned about. The Obsidian Blade of the Empire, Ula. Do not let their demeanor or skill deter you. Continue fighting!
Should we help them, General?
No. Ula has the capability to take them all down. Fear not, they will not falter.
What in the hells are you? 32 warriors cut down. You must cease. We will overwhelm you. Curse you!
I am the Obsidian Blade. Long have I served under the de Frederics. Long have I been a part of this realm and defended it. By my count, it has been nearly 300 lunar cycles since I first fell to Earth. 200 since I became the Obsidian Blade, a monkya I was given by Emperor Mortimer Ludwig de Frederic.
Nonsense! Utter nonsense! Humans do not live such long lives. You fragile things have but a century at best.
I am no human. I merely have the privilege of being among them. Be not afraid.
We must inform the princess. The timeline must be pushed up immediately.
General Cole, word from our front garrison. They say the demons are marching. 200,000 strong, behemoths as tall as our grandest towers. They will be in full view come the morning, at our gates in 3 moons.
As above, so below, it would seem. Our time is almost upon us. There's no more left to hesitate. Ula, are you prepared?
I am, General.
Then tend to our wounded and prepare the men. We march at dusk.
End of Act 3. Act 4. The Emergence. Act 4, Scene 1. Testing Chambers.
So, our greatest asset now is stained with the blood of our clansmen, our kin, our friends. The price of security in Somnium is ever higher. Tell me, will even this stop the calamity above? Will this better prepare us for what is coming? What you know is coming, Vedanta.
Am I permitted to speak my mind, your lordships? Uncensored. I fear I may not have an apt answer otherwise.
You would make a poor advisor if we shackled you now or any other time, Vedanta. You have not once steered us wrong in our time together. We welcome your honesty. Our egos will not be so easily bruised by harsh words from the person we placed our trust within as an advisor for so long. Speak.
My rulers, you requested I delve deeper into the void between realms, and I have done just that. The answers within do not lie, for they have no real reason to. It is a matter of whether you feel aptly prepared to heed them. Many men, women, indivisibles of power before you have seen unfettered scribblings on the walls, clear clandestine laws set out to safeguard them from themselves, and multiple advisors of the pious, the greedy, and the genuine warn them of the coming downfall. But each and every time, they ultimately stumble into the same quagmire of failure, corruption, bloodlust, and greed that the veritable elephant grave surrounding them is full of. I fear the reality of it is that, despite you both being the most steadfast, honest, and bereft of all the evil traits that would so easily and readily corrupt the outer shells of so many before you, I fear that despite your goodness and just rule, you cannot stop what is coming. In short, you will save Angleron from the current ill fate marching upon its borders, but at a great cost.
You wish to see me, Vedanta?
Yes, my prince. Thank you. I was just finishing telling our rulers what I had foreseen. I assumed you may wish to be here for this moment.
Indeed. Mother, father, I too have seen what is coming. I spoke with the Crown Prince and became their conduit for a moment. I know of what will befall Angleron, and I request to leave with Vedanta on the morning rise, go beyond the kingdom's borders and study. I do not wish to be here when the worst comes to pass.
My boy, you're nearly an adult and by far the most studious of my children. If your wish is to leave, it's not my place to stop you. Every ruler, every father, and every man knows when it is time to let go and allow his fellow man to find his own kingdom. I only wish it could have been this one.
Thank you, Father, for allowing me to discover myself, to learn incessantly and to grow from an ember into a grand light that I can shine onto new kingdoms. It will be your light, Mother's light, Angleron's light.
I always knew you would be the first to leave, despite being the youngest. Something about you was always full of adventure, despite spending far longer in those dusty libraries than I or your father knew. Knowledge is power, my son. It is time for you to share that with the rest of the world. With a woman like Vedanta by your side, I feel that will be an easy task. You may leave here today, but I, your father, Lyric, Billebault, and Sovereign will always be your family. Even if the kingdom is naught but ashes, it will still be your ashes.
My lordship, my lady, it has been the highest honour to serve you these past 5 winters. I am but 21, and you have treated me with the reverence of someone much, much older. I have grown immensely fond of your son, and I will do all in my power to protect him, as much as I am sure beneath his currently shaken constitution, he will protect me. But before I rescind my role, I do have one final piece of advice for you. When the eye of God looks upon you, do not hesitate to spit at it.
Act 4, Scene 2, Crown Prince's Chambers.
I regret the departure of our brightest child, but we must remember that all things are in pursuit of the ultimate goal, of bringing about Sovereign's true self. The preparations are almost complete. The long, spiteful days are finally giving way to blissful, serene nights. The once bashful celestial body that was our moon bringing itself to the forefront once more, eager as the unseen gods to bear witness to the day at hand. I knew from the moment you came into our lives you were to be something special. We're all born different, my child. I was always confounded by the physical closeness with which others discovered so easily. It was never something I felt I required. I felt wrong. I had no place in society, for I could not bend to their expectations of me. My duties as a future Empress. All I wished to do was sequester myself away, become a hermit that was passed into legend, for at least in private scorn would I have had my peace. But then I met your father, a man who encouraged me to blossom anew and be the great tree I was destined to be. Not one made of paltry materials planted by future usurpers and fair weather interests, but one of stone, iron, steel, unbreakable in its foundations and resolute in its desire to stay rooted and grow in spite of those who would wish to see otherwise. I am a behemoth of iron in a forest of wood. So is your father. So are your siblings. So are you. Oh, forgive your mother for prattling on, but had I the choice or ability to pluck you from the deepest recesses of my consciousness, the realm that lay between my heart, my soul, and all that makes me a complete human, I would have gladly done so. The same as I would for your siblings, equal in their beauty and growth. For me, no pain, physical, emotional, or spiritual, is too far in order to see you thriving. For you, for us, I know the future will be secured.
But still, my love, the calamity above. Vedanta's words, we must take heed of them. Sovereign is indeed the future, but...
Sovereign is the only future. There is nothing beyond their reign. If it does not come to pass, the calamity will only be a flickering ember before the winds of death blow us all away into the gaping maw of the unseen ones. Heed Vedanta's words, yes, but not abide by them. We must focus on the task at hand and not allow ourselves to be mired by cowardice, indecision, or hesitancy now that the final dawn draws upon us. My love, you know what is coming. You have always known. We will stand atop the mountain as rulers of naught but death. But we must play our role perfectly.
Yes, you're right. Otherwise, what rulers, what parents are we? Our youngest taking flight to gain more knowledge, our daughter destined to rule by any means necessary, our eldest assured for stranger tides, and our crown prince, the end of all things and the start of something new. I will steel myself my love for you, for our kingdom, for our sovereign.
You will be the change this kingdom needs, Sovereign. But not before I lay the foundations for you. Just wait a little longer, my prince. All things come to pass with enough time. Even the cliffs erode when the waves smash against them with patience.
We must prepare the final tests. The subjects will soon be ready. Let us gather in the court and begin. Time is ever our enemy, and I intend to slay it before the day is done.
Act 4, Scene 3. Royal Court.
You have all pledged your loyalty to our kingdom, fighting off the enemy at our borders, and those within we have gained word of this morning. There is little time left. We must escalate our tests. There can be no more dallying. Our weapons must be tested. Those of you who stand here do so of your own free will, and with loyalty to the kingdom. I will not punish those who wish to leave, but know you will only be hindering the kingdom should you do so.
Once the weapon is unveiled, however, you will not leave this place. You have been selected carefully beyond your ranks, your titles, and your class for a special reason. We believe this will assist us in our tests. If correct, you will leave here with the gratitude of the kingdom and enough gold to cover your expenses for 2 years. Should injury or death befall you, we will ensure your loved ones are looked after. If you have objections, do not waste time holding them in, for none shall hear you from the grave.
The kingdom thanks you, and so do we. Before you is the attire of the nameless. We will hand out one piece to each of you and request you simply try it on and report on your feelings. The task is simple, but the risks are as we have outlined.
The Duke wishes to know if honor is this important to your subjects. Is money and the respect of a territory so powerful that it would send a man to his death?
Of course. Though the option to leave is of course available until the weapon is revealed, as we said. It is our duty to protect secrecy, would you not agree?
Oh, indeed I would, mother dearest. Secrecy is of the utmost importance, and you will die screaming all the same, my loyal subjects. Lips sealed with the unbreakable steel of a bond, a promise, a pact. But all things resurface eventually. There is a buoyancy to the truth that simply must rise above the muck and the mire. I have sat back and watched the machinations of this kingdom for so long. First, I watch as my rightful position as heir is taken by my younger sibling. Never told why beyond their special nature, and instructed to smile and nod like a good prince. Then, my kingdom beset by corrupt nobles playing with decadence and sacrilege, the likes of which would make the devil blush, causes the issue at our very doorstep. This happened under your purview, and yet you cared not. As if you welcomed the final nail in Angleron's coffin so you could bring about this change.
My son, that is hardly fair to put on our shoulders. The conflict has been going on for...
I am not done, Father. You have allowed snakes into our den that have not so much taken root to feast on the hen's nest as they have laid eggs to usurp whatever loyal chickens you had left roosting. You have no clue of what is coming, but you still cling to the one hope in this world you think you have. You have already lost your youngest, now you'll lose your eldest. For I have seen what lies beyond this pallid and pathetic land. There is a sea of wonder beyond the limitations of this realm, in the mirrors that the Duke and the Envoy have revealed unto me. There, I can be king. I can be myself. I can be.
It has been a most interesting sojourn to your kingdom, your majesties. But Prince Billebault was always our prize, and now that we have him, we shall be taking our leave. I do not believe we will see each other again, but should you survive, Harper's Wake would welcome you with open arms and minds.
I should think not, dear Envoy. You may have taken my boy's fancy for the time being, but know he is a fickle individual with an attention span that could barely fill a thimble. He will tire of you and see through your ruse. Know that when he does, you will regret ever crossing the de Fredericks. Billebault is by far the most dangerous of my children, and he would sooner render my flesh than assist me if it meant getting vengeance for a slight against his honor. My son, I do not agree with your decision, but that was never my purpose at this stage in your life. Be who you are meant to be.
The sun shall never be outshined by its celestial twin, for they share the same light. We are proud of you nonetheless, my boy.
When this kingdom is naught but bone, ash, sinew, and broken dreams, I shall return to rule over it. That is my promise. I left a parting gift for you on the steps of the court. Use it however you wish.
I see. That boy is equal parts cunning as he is vicious.
What did he leave for us?
The biggest snake in our hen house.
Act 4, Scene 4. Unknown.
What hellscape is this? Have I descended into a nightmare? A stupor? I can sense so little around me. This feels different.
You know where you are, Erembor the Tinkerer. You have only to speak its name, and it will become clear.
I am dead? This is the realm of the recently departed? I do not understand, my lord. I did as you instructed. I followed the plan.
You were warned of a false voice, Erembor, daughter of Elamon, to not let it in when it comes knocking. You think I do not know of the corruption that has overtaken you? That it is beyond my purview?
You simply need to allow some of those demons to be converted to my cause, all still serving Nulldus naturally, and we can overthrow these deluded rulers. We can become gods ourselves, Erembor.
But to betray the Empress, I swore an oath.
And do you think they would wish for your oath to be upheld if they knew of the kind of woman you are? The kind of women you enjoy? Never. They'd sooner string you up in the very dungeon you occupy as a freak alongside the demons you torture. They will never understand you the way we do, Erembor. The Crown Prince is a beast among beasts. It must be eradicated.
But my lady, I was merely acting within your divinity. But these demons, are they not a part of your grander plan? Please, my lady, I only wish to see your divine judgment shine upon the kingdom.
You had a purpose, a goal, and you squandered it. The Crown Prince shall rise, and your allies will be slaughtered. Make your peace, Erembor. It will not come quickly.
What will become of me? What will become of Erembor the Tinkerer? Is the Crown Prince not the enemy? The unknown? The unassailable threshold that man was never meant to cross? I thought it was different for them. That they were the enemy of all you sought. What are they?
They are the future, Erembor. You spoke of the mice gleefully entering the tunnel, too foolhardy to go back, and therefore marching to their very demise. If that allegory were to ring true, then you are the fool who believes the demons will not roast your flesh because they walk and talk like you. An outsider you will forever remain, my fallen child. But fear not. It's not the demon who looks like the demon who is the most dangerous. It is the demon who most looks like a human. Nulldus embraces all forgotten and different children into their loving arms. Eventually.
Act 4, Scene 5. Entrance to Angleron.
Today we are marching for a new chapter in Angleron's history. One that will be devoid of the subterfuge, blood, screams and tears that have predated each reign for the last 1,000 years of its history. I know you love the Emperor and the Empress. I do too. But sentiments cannot abide destruction, and that is what they are seeking in this pursuit to end the war. I do not trust they have the best interests of our kingdom at heart, nor that of our unseen citizens who are ostracised for who they are and who they love. They have allowed nobles to cavort with the very demons that stand at our gates, and all to serve their greater purpose. Today we put a stop to this madness, and we can do it without spilling unnecessary blood.
We will march with purpose, not with hatred. We will not accost any standing by, and should the Emperor's Guard lay down their arms, we shall not seek blood. Minimize any destruction and be proud of your decisions today, my soldiers. The flaxen is for all. It will be the symbol with which we bring Angleron into a new age of peace.
Today we stand not as an army, not as a rebellion, but as kin. Fallon and Billebault have both departed, and I march to depose my parents. So from this moment forth, you are my family. The flaxen are my creed, and I will die defending it. We will depose them, restore order, push back against the demons at our doors, and ensure the calamity does not befall us. For Angleron, for history, for the flaxen.
It seems they've begun to march. Another of our children is ready to fly away. Oh, Lyric, you really are too gifted for your own good.
Preparations are in place. All that is left now is to confront them. Bring out the materials to greet our daughter with. This will be a summit to remember. Like a creeping illness or a predator lying in wait, it matters not how far you run, how good you behave, or how well you wish. Death finds us all eventually. It will grip us with its decaying, spindly hands and force us to dance until we are no more. Be sure you don't lose your footing. The Reaper hates two left feet. Memento mori indeed.
End of Act 4. Act 5. The Calamity. Act 5, Scene 1. Forecourt of the Summit.
Ah, General. Ula. Lyric. I am to assume this is a rebellion. To what title has my most gifted child anchored herself to? Knowing full well it will drown her in the process.
We are the Flaxen, Father. I'm pleased to see you and Mother are in good health and ready to speak. I take no joy in this, but I must ask you both to abdicate. The Flaxen outnumber the Emperor's elite guard significantly. We have observed the past few days with great concern and with numerous threats to our safety, seek to refocus our efforts away from the torturous methods involving weaponry by a madman such as Erembor.
Ah, yes, the Tinkerer. Well, you need not worry. It seems she was ceremoniously handled before your arrival. Here.
Monstrous! Who is responsible for this? Was he not entitled to a fair trial?
He attempted to subdue the will of the Crown Prince. This could not stand. Either your elder brother did the deed, or at the very least was assisted by someone else. Someone who has been waiting for this day just as much as we have.
Look above you, both of you. Cast your eyes directly north and gaze at the Onyx Mines. Look at the beasts marching upon our capital. We cannot survive with our current methods. You must listen to me. The calamity will come for us.
You are by far the most capable of my children. It should have been you to rule this kingdom. Regrettable that may have been, this is far more egregious. A part of me wishes to see this insolence punished, but I have far too much love and respect for your tenacity. Simply lay down your arms and swear fealty, then we can forget all of this happened.
Is there no convincing you? No swaying your conscience? Father, please, do not make me do this.
Apologies, my lady, but Lyric and the Flaxen have a far better vision for a united future of the kingdoms, and Kerala has elected to ally with them. We hold you in great esteem, but I will cut your throat should you resist.
Of that I have no doubt. How amusing.
Same for you, your lordship. Minotia is very grateful to you, but there is a future to consider. And I will not ally with a regime that allows creatures like Moreau to hold office. It's not personal, I assure you.
Ah, a demon. Fascinating. Even in the waning hours of this chapter of Angleron's history, it provides twists and turns we could not have foreseen some days ago. To think we'd be here. What a stupendous occasion.
You have done remarkably, Lyric. Tactical, pragmatic, beautiful. Truly, you were born to rule. But you have your limitations like any mortal. There are deep, dark oceans within which swim ancient beasts the likes of which you cannot comprehend. You are royalty, yes. Clairvoyant and gifted, absolutely. But limited. Gods have no such limits.
Gods? I thought we dispelled that nonsense at the summit.
No, my dear General. I said it wasn't Hieromonks. We have a god. Their name is Sovereign. They are awake.
What is that? Oh my god! It just wiped out the demon army! Over by the Onyx Mines! It's on fire! What is that?
It's the Crown Prince, lad. And they're awake.
And you will worship him.
Act 5, Scene 2. The Crown Prince's Chambers.
It is time, my child. They have kept you safe, kept you away from the world until you were ready. But all parents must let their children go one day. To brave the horrors of an uncaring, unrelentless world of misery and hatred. You are strong. You are their sovereign, and you have been sufficiently prepared.
Sovereign looks at their body, finally complete and draped in the attire of the Nameless.
You are the symbol this kingdom needs. You will be everything they wish to know, but fear to ask. But remember, my child, there is a greater threat beyond the horizon. Simply cast your gaze to the mountains and remember that something has been knocking at your door. Soon, it will find its way in. Be prepared. I hope you've been paying attention.
Sovereign nods and feels the power coursing through their veins as they break from their chambers and begin exacting their power on the enemy at the gates.
You will remember everything that happened here.
Act 5, Scene 3. The King's Court. A day after Sovereign had subdued the demon threat with the horrifying power of the attire of the Nameless, the Flaxen, its cohorts and allies, had all agreed to lay down their arms and swear fealty to the new sole Emperor.
So it shall be that on this day, I, Marius de Frederick IV, do abdicate my throne and give power to the Crown Prince, henceforth known as Sovereign de Frederick.
I, Desislava Maria Cantrell de Frederick, do also abdicate my throne, and give power to Sovereign de Frederick. May they forever reign in glory and with impunity.
This feels too familiar, as if I've walked this world once before and am sleepwalking into oblivion. The stars. Why, the stars look positively beautiful tonight, do they not?
Lyric sees a vision of Vedanta in the sky, calling to her.
My lady, listen well. You are seeing through the veil of what this is, but you must press forth. The moment is nearly upon us. The calamity will unfurl, and the usurping beast will seek to claim its prize.
Beast? The calamity has a form. I do not understand. This was not in my vision.
It was in my own, that which urged me to flee. It was the shape of an antlion. Be wary. More is coming. The stars have much to tell you. Beware the veiled practitioner.
Indeed, a momentous occasion for a new reign, it seems. Not the one I would have hoped for, but no blood spilled is a victory, I feel.
No, you misunderstand. My eyes do see something beyond the stars. Why, pray tell, do I see something in the mist? Fallon in the Valley of the Dead. Mother and father in an alternate kingdom burning. Myself, wandering the fields of Elysium with no end in sight, and
so this coronation shall be completed. Arise, sovereign de Frederick, forever ruler of Angleron.
Pardon the intrusion on this most exquisite coronation of your most grotesque creation, your former lordships, but it was a necessary one. We have been discussing and elected to expedite the process of which your kingdom is reduced to nothingness. We grow tired of the song and dance. The secret has been revealed, and so we shall dispense with the pleasantries. This entire event is nothing but a farce, a protective shield for your crown prince. We will put a stop to it before it remembers what it is. Harper's Wake cannot tolerate another abomination. As decreed by our rulers, the Inner Sanctum.
The Duke of Harper's Wake unveils themselves and produces the form of an antlion which lunges for the Crown Prince. Marius and Desislava standing in protection, taking the brunt of the attack. Ula and Cole unsheath their blades and separate the antlion from the Emperors. Desislava is mortally wounded. Marius is nursing a bad wound. Sovereign begins rising from their throne and preparing to fight.
Mother, why would they do this? Because you protected our sibling?
We did what any parent should do. Shielded them, protected them, prepared them. We would do it all again. My children, remember, through hardships, through cruelty, through strife, love will always triumph.
Mother, no! Do not go onto the eternal path. I cannot walk with you there yet. I'm not ready. Please.
The mother, then the father. This wretched bloodline shall be eradicated. All but one. All but one!
You will not harm any of our kin. Of that I can assure you, even if it is my last act in this realm.
And it shall be, for your prodigal son has returned, and he has come for Sovereign. Your secret has been revealed. The building shakes violently, and Billebault rises into the air, draped in a similar attire of the Nameless from Harper's Wake.
I told you I would return when this place is naught but ashes, so I shall make it my kingdom. You have all cowered in fear of the creatures at the doorstep, ignoring the calamity above as if it was something to bury your heads in the sand over.
Brother, please, listen to reason. We can still fix this. We can go back to the way that things were.
My son, if you would only
Billebault strikes Marius down with the powers granted by the attire, killing him. Sovereign rises to meet him as the Antlion battles with Ula and Cole.
You are everything I wanted to become! Everything I should have been! It is unjust! It is a sin against the order of things! It will be corrected on my very soul! I will erase you from the inside out!
Billebault rips the ceiling off of the building as the calamity widens, and we see, for the first time, a human eye peering in and looking at the kingdom as someone in the distance screams. It's not a calamity. It's a wound. As Sovereign and Billebault do battle, the calamity widens and proceeds to engulf all of Angleron.
I am the calamity, and you all know what it means to ascend!
Life, death, the purgatorial states in between. Such is the way for the chosen few who seek to find their truest selves and fall afoul of the evils that lurk within mankind, hiding within human skins. They will climb the steps of purgatory, only to be kicked back down and forced to climb anew. But with every ascension, there is one fewer step. The ease is apparent, and their strength is growing. They will one day arise anew and slay the evils of this world. Or, at least, that's what I believe. As for what I see, well, I can't reveal all, but I will say that though the journey must start anew, our Crown Prince will have a different path this time.
End. Fourth edition modern translation in 1977 by Oliver Gerhardt. Revised 5th edition completed in 2023 with assistance. Dedication. To my grandchild Lux. I know you will find solace in this fairy tale. You have been listening to the Celestial Event over the Emperor's Kingdom, a Sturgeon play written by TJ Lee. Recorded at Unbound Theatre. Learn more about Unbound Theatre at their website, linked in the description below. Cast. Emperor Marius IV was played by Philip Donnelly. Empress Desislava was played by Erika Sanderson. Ula the Obsidian Blade was played by Mimi Brown. Erembor the Tinkerer was played by Jack Knight. Vedanta the Machinator was played by Hannah Pople. General Cole was played by Rob Aldington. Prince Fallon was played by Harry Locke. Princess Lyric was played by Caspia Huntingdon-Davies. Prince Billebault was played by TJ Lee. Lady Moreau was played by Mary Hall. The Envoy to the Stars was played by TJ Lee. Master McHale was played by Andy Faber. Hieromonk Levelle was played by Alan Curtis. Ambassador Joriq was played by Hannah Rogers. Ambassador Erika was played by TJ Lee. Officer Yundal was played by Andy Shaw. Nulldus was played by Dark Somnium. Officer Chambers was played by TJ Lee, and Officer Damshun was played by Alan Curtis. Special thanks goes to Dario Knight and Gareth Johnson. Holy fuck. It's done. It's done. Oh my goodness. Hello everybody, Janitor Supremo TJ Lee. I really hope you enjoyed the celestial event over the Empress Kingdom, or possibly the calamity or tragedy of Angleron, depending on which title works better. I don't know. But that is chapter 6. That play took me 18 months to write, from start to finish, with breaks in between, obviously. The audio production started right after my birthday, so the beginning of September, at the amazing Unbound Theatre. Let's give it up for them first and foremost. They let me use the space. They trusted me to organize it. Shout out to Dario Knight, who is the beating heart of that whole place. An incredible director, an incredible producer, an incredible human being. Lent his time to help co-direct this with me. To Gareth Johnson, who did the sound tech on the day that I wasn't able to do it. And to our amazing, amazing cast that I'm going to go through in just a minute. But Unbound Theatre, please check out their website in the description. If I sound hoarse, if I sound tired, it's because I am both of those things. Because I'm 70% sure that I'm sick with something, probably the flu. Hopefully not COVID. So yeah, let's hope that that it's not too bad. But I gave my soul to get this up on time. I really wanted this up before Christmas. I'm trying to get at least, regular content going out after seeing chapters 4 and 5 do so goddamn well. For a little channel like mine, I wanted to give you all something extra. These intros and outros will be cut from the compilation video, by the way. I don't know if that's going to be immediate, but I'm going to do a sort of part 1 through maybe part 6, which is this one, or maybe 7 of the book, and just put it up as a supercut with some added skits in between, which are in the book, which I haven't put out yet, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I've already got a credits section, so I am going to let that do the thing, so I saved my voice a little bit. That is probably going up before this bit. I don't know which way I'm going to organize it, but if it's not come up yet, if this is the first thing you hear afterwards, please stay for the credits. I probably will put it up first because I think it's only fair. But man, everybody involved in that from top to bottom was incredible. We had a last minute switch up, so Dark Somnium stepped in to do Nulldus, which was super good. I mean, God, Ronnie is pretty much my best friend on YouTube. We've worked together now for several years, and so generous with his time. Obviously, you guys probably know me through my voice work on Dark Somnium, and I also, write there and whatnot. And he has been an incredible person and mentor. Does not get enough love for what he does, and just all the pleasure to work with him. The cast was just incredible from start to finish. Erika Sanderson playing Empress Desislava gets a special shout out. Erika is one of my dear friends, my acting older sister, and was Lady Death in The Last Sin Eater, for those of you who are a fan of that. An incredible force in the voice booth and is doing some incredible things. And Philip Donnelly as well as Emperor Marius. I mean, gosh, what a voice. When I first started writing this, I'd just done King Lear as an audio piece, which you can check out at Unbound Theatre. And he played King Lear, and I knew immediately he was my Marius. And from there down, everyone from Hannah Pople and Hannah Rogers down to Jack Knight, to Andy Shaw, to Mary Hall. Gosh, so many people, so many amazing people. And the credits have all their information. And just to Chris as well, who did the opening narration. Unbelievable voices. This was a delight to do. I really wanted to do a play. I've always wanted to try one, and I wanted to do it where I wasn't doing Shakespearean dialogue. I could have done that. It would not have been fun, and it would have probably only been to the enjoyment of just a few people who either understand it or are willing to tolerate it. It's not great. So I really hope this middle ground works. I really hope it's something you guys enjoy. I did more voices than I was planning on doing, purely because I was going to do Billebault from the start. Changed up on the Envoy. The amazing Locke did Prince Fallon. It just didn't sound right when I heard back the Envoy's lines, and I thought, you know what, I'll slip in for that. And Erika was a last minute thing as well. So hopefully my Irish accent isn't too bad. Fingers crossed. But it was something that I really wanted to do for this book. It's the largest piece of the whole novel so far, 23,500 words, just smack dab in the first, second third of this book. It's kind of crazy to think about that I did that, and it's just fun to say I did it, especially because I fully understand that the book needs a palate cleanser. If you've been following along, then you'll know that 4 and 5 are incredibly abrasive by design, but they are very, very challenging to get through. They're very in your face. They can be quite unpleasant, and I expected the pushback, and that's fine. Whereas the chapters 1 through 3 are a lot more tame in that regard of their messaging, and so are the other chapters. I mean, there's certainly more of it, but I have my moments. I pick my moments, and the play is largely sort of ambiguous. And the beautiful thing about Shakespeare's plays, when you look into that, is that it was always gender swapped and it's very queer, so it feels very natural. I don't think we'll have any trouble from dissident people coming along. I really hope you all enjoy it. I hope it inspires you to check out the rest of the playlist or to check out many other work. But this is what I do now. For those who maybe have not seen me around since I retired from No Sleep, or wondering why NFC Season 2 has taken so long, it's coming. It's because I'm doing shit like this. I wake up every day and I'm like, what weird narrative story can I do today? And that is what fulfills me. But this was such a fun thing to do. Biggest inspirations being things like Berserk was a huge inspiration on me. The artworks of Hieronymus Bosch and Peter Bruegel, the elder, and Peter Bruegel the younger. Dante Alighieri's Inferno and Purgatorio. There's so many different places I drew from for this. Particularly the album Sinner Get Ready by Lingua Ignota. Big inspiration for me. I love that album. Absolutely incredible. Would recommend if you are into your more unusual music and you want something a little bit stranger in your playlist. I would also say Death and Dying Volume 2 by Hours of Worship, which just came out. Really fucking nice as well. But I would be here all day if I waffle on too much, and mostly it's just about the process, and the process was really fun. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you want to support the channel, then the Patreon is right there. Patrons get access to almost everything early. This is going to be a rare example. They'll get it about 12 hours early, so I'm very sorry, patrons. It should be a lot more than that, but they did have Acts 1, 2, and 3 early, so, dealer's choice. You guys get to get shout-outs at the end of the videos as well. We're probably going to do a Discord at some point because I am getting into brick walls when it comes to sharing at the moment, so I want to try and get the algorithm to favor me a little bit more. So I am very loopy. It is 8:39 in the morning. I have been working on this pretty much non-stop for the better part of 2 and a bit months now, and wrestling notwithstanding in the middle of that, and I really hope it shows. I switched sound libraries in the middle of this, so we went from using one library over to Epidemic Sounds. There's a noticeable change in the sound design and some of the music. We can get a lot more liberal with the music now, but it does mean less medieval, so hopefully it sounds okay. I really hope so. After this is going to be the patrons, just shouting everybody out on the screen. Thank you so much. Everett's regular Dusklight transmissions will return. Don't worry, I'm not getting rid of them. Just for these videos where I'm doing an ongoing series, it is a challenge to come up with brand new skits every time. And I'm probably going to go and do something more akin to like what I did for this one, where it's like I've got a script and I kind of do a little bit here and there and then I just kind of get through it. I don't want people to tune out before they even hear the video, which obviously, why should they? Everett is a fucking delight, but yeah. And that's about it from me. I'm gonna jump over to the patrons, and Everett's gonna give you the usual outro because I know y'all cannot sleep without it. I am really excited to hear what you guys think. Please leave your thoughts below. Let me know what your favorite character was. Let me know what your favorite scene was, your favorite act was, and most importantly, the actual play is linked in the description so that you can read along. I'm gonna probably have to put this in at the beginning because I just reminded myself I have to do this, just to let you all know you can read along with it. I only did stage directions at the very end because it became incredibly difficult to do this without them, and I became aware that people are most likely gonna go, I don't know what's going on, these sounds are confusing, and obviously trying to adapt to physical play, so that was immediately a real concern of mine. Did not think that far. I have small brain. But in the last act, I knew it was really important, so I did it more there. But either way, I will remind myself to put that in. Thank you guys so much. If you want to hang out, I am likely to be doing a stream a few hours after this, probably about 7 p.m. Eastern time with Spirit Voices. More than likely going to hang out for a little bit. I'm going to check on time. If not, I will put it in the community tab, but keep your notifications on, please, gang. I'm begging you, so that you guys know when a video goes live. But if not, I will be doing a stream on Boxing Day in the UK here, and the idea is to help with loneliness, to help people who don't have a lot going on in the holidays, whether that's due to illness, isolation, or mental health, or any other tragedy in their lives. I want to have a nice, chill 2-3 hour stream. We hang out, play some games, maybe do some readings, and we will come together. I love this community, I love what I'm building, and I'm very grateful to all of you. And now I'm going to hand it over to Everett because my voice is about to give out. So thank you all so much for coming on this fucking strange journey with me. If you enjoy this, please link it to someone who might like it as well. But I'm very grateful. Have a wonderful Christmas or whatever you may celebrate, and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon.
Well, I didn't know that the play ended like that. Maybe I should do a little bit more reading into what's going on in Dondella County. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of our other transmissions. We are adding them regularly, and we'd love to have you as part of the Dusklight family by subscribing, hitting the bell of snakes, and you guessed it, more snakes, and leave a comment with stories you'd love for my many-legged runners to find. I want to thank all of our patrons for making this possible. If you want to sign up, it's as little as $1 a month, and you get exclusive content, early access videos and stories, updates, and more. But times are tough, and we will always be grateful for support no matter what form it comes in. Financial, spiritual, corporeal, maniacal, whatever you want. It really helps us out. Dusklight gives thanks to our Sturgeon faithfuls, 21 Keys, Asherbell, Haley Clark, Jack, Jason Webb, Larry W., Nathan Billings, PRDDL12, and Sabrina Alexander. Our Purple Crayon Eaters are Mara, Candyman Gloving, Dave Baxter, Feeny Von Karma, Max, Mike, Newman Borders, Pesky Opossum, and Fi. Our janitors Alex Nunez, Amy Sean, Arkham Cookie, Death 31, Heather Cayley, Jimmy Ricardo, Sabine Eclipse, Scott, and Scruffy the janitor. I do like that. Our Nightman detectives, Adrian Rodriguez, Ethan Nelson, Fox Clifford, and Gianni Di Lorena. Our Void Walkers, Eurydice Oryx, Professor Creepypasta, and Ratsquatch. And our ever-expanding Blackwell family, Jacko Blackwell, Scourge of Gas Station Sushi Outlets, Clue Blackwell, the Twisting Shambling Horror, Tabitha Blackwell, wearing a muscle tee with Kyle's face as a skull she smashed, declaring herself the new Spine Queen, and Papa Kyle Blackwell, preparing his greatest weapon, the Spine Lord. We love and fear you, Papa. We love and fear all your Blackwell members, and we love and fear all of you patrons. We thank you humbly for your patronage and look to see you bright and early for Dusklight orientation, purple crayons, and existential dread will be provided. And one last time, listeners, close your eyes and breathe with me. Remember, no matter how bad things are, how cruel people can be, and how heavy your shoulders may feel with the weight of the world bearing down on them, Dusklight will always be here to lift the load and provide you with some respite. Drink some alcohol-free cider, have some s'mores, watch a video about the history of boomer shooters, and sleep on the cool side of the pillow with the window open and the stars twinkling down on you. Start and end each day with kindness in your heart. You matter, you are loved, and every day is another chance. I'll see you again when the sun sets and dusk enters the station.